Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the TDT Media YouTube channel. Thank you for clicking on another NFL Drafts and Reese's Senior Bowl player profile. Today, we have one of my favorite players in this upcoming draft class, MarShawn Lloyd out of USC. Now, I'll be perfectly honest. I found MarShawn Lloyd while looking at some other players on that incredible USC team and what he brings not only as a runner, but also as a pass catcher. I'm very excited to kind of profile him today. So first and foremost, let's take a look at MarShawn Lloyd's stats. His running stats were actually pretty good. 116 carries, 820 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 7.1 yards per carry. So he has a very good yards per carry average. But one of the biggest things that he was able to do is actually receiving out of the backfield in 2023. Only 13 receptions, 232 yards, but 17.8 yards per catch out of the backfield for a running back is very impressive and absolutely something that has to be noted. And that rolls me right into his strengths. MarShawn Lloyd is a very quick back. We'll get to that when I talk about his player comp later. Obviously, in a USC offense, he has to be able to catch out of the backfield, and that's something he displays. We'll look at that in his film in just a little bit. But he is a very powerful runner, even with his smaller frame. MarShawn Lloyd is listed at 5'9", 210 pounds, so packs a lot into that small frame, but he's very able to evade defenses and makes very good reads behind what was honestly a shaky offensive line for USC in 2023 at times. For sure, he definitely benefited from being with Caleb Williams and the emphasis on the passing attack for that team. And as we know, Pac-12 defenses are not very good, but Lloyd was definitely able to improve off of his years in South Carolina, improving every single stat across the board being with USC in 2023. And I think his biggest strength is just his versatility out of the backfield, being able to run the ball out of shotgun, behind the center, and receive out of the backfield. In terms of his weakness, his size is going to be an issue. He's going to have to add a little bit of weight. Not a lot. 5'9", 210 is okay, but he showed limited ability to actually be able to withhold an entire season's worth of carries. Only 116 carries in 2023. If he wants to be the main back for an NFL franchise, he's going to have more ability to withstand an entire workload in an NFL offense. That's the biggest knock that I have on him in terms of his actual consistency on the field, in terms of his skill set. I think he's a very good, solid back, and he's going to be able to display that in some of the 1v1s that we have at the Senior Bowl. So with that being said, let's take a look at his film. And the film I pulled is majority receiving. And the reason for that is it's not really a question whether or not he can run out of the backfield. The biggest question has been his ability as a receiving back. And you see multiple different kind of routes. Here's a run up the middle. He does take a couple hits there. Good vision, is able to stay patient behind the blocks. Here we have another reception in a scramble drill. Does a really good job seeing the zones of the defense, getting behind that first layer of the defense. And he is absolutely an explosive runner. Again, I will say Pac-12 defenses, I understand, but he's got a little bit of route running out of the backfield, which is not normal for a running back in college. And once again, just showing the ability to stay with Caleb Williams when Williams is scrambling, really good at the scramble drill, especially for a running back. Here he is in 2022 in the SEC for South Carolina, still very consistent as a receiver out of the backfield, screens, actual route running. He can do it all out of the backfield. MarShawn Lloyd from USC. So now projection is in the 4th round, and really running backs can succeed no matter what round they are taking it in. The Packers have drafted running backs in the late rounds for years. The Bears do a good job developing running backs in the late rounds. Obviously, Jahmyr Gibbs for Detroit, high selection in the 1st round of last year's draft, and he's done really well. But if you get into the right system, I think MarShawn Lloyd could be an incredible back. And so I have his NFL draft comp at Pierre Strong, which may come as a knock for some people, but I think Pierre Strong is a good back in what he does. And I think MarShawn Lloyd will fit very well as a number 2 into an NFL system right away, with the potential, with a little bit more work, a little bit more advancement in whatever system he dives into, that I think he could become a number 1 running back in maybe 3 or 4 years. So that's the kind of projection I have for MarShawn Lloyd. But again, I will say the 1v1s, especially at the Senior Bowl, they do 1v1s, running backs versus linebackers, both in actual running sets and receiver sets. So seeing that will be huge in looking into the development that MarShawn Lloyd could have, both as a runner and both as a receiver out of the backfield. With that being said, thank you so much for watching another NFL Draft and Senior Bowl preview. Make sure to tune in before, during, and after the Senior Bowl, leading all the way up to the NFL Draft with everything TDT Media has to offer. We'll see you next time.